Hey, it's Rachel Cunningham, and you're listening to Joyful Love, episode 66. If you're ready to bring joy and connection back to your marriage, stick around. Each week, I give you the tools to up-level your thinking, open your heart, and bring joy and fun back to your relationship. Because it's not enough just to stay married. We want to love being married. I'm having such an incredible week. Life is good, it's hard, and it's beautiful. And to be honest, in Nashville, it's cold today. It's not cold compared to the rest of the world, probably, but it got down to 28 degrees today, and I'm cold. So I want to just hibernate and hide under the covers and snack a lot. And I have to keep reminding myself that I'm not an actual bear going into hibernation. I'm not going to go without food this winter. So you can simmer down, animal brain, right? You all know what I mean during the winter months. It's just like those snacky feelings and just the desire to hibernate really kind of wants to take over. So we got to watch our animal brains or they will pull us away from our goals, right? Every single time. But here's what I did today. I keep seeing amazing dessert recipes pop up when I'm online. And today I saw one for a banana cake with cream cheese icing and all these thoughts, these wonderful thoughts of this woman that I used to know who made banana pudding. All these thoughts of her came up and it made me want to make this banana cake because it was reminding me of her banana pudding as a child. But I love bananas and I also love cream cheese icing. So my middle child, Milo, he has a birthday coming up and I decided that, you know what? Milo is getting the banana cake with cream cheese icing on it. So I copied the link to this banana cake recipe and I pasted it in my calendar on Milo's birthday with the words really big in all caps, "Make this for Milo's birthday." So I am starting to look forward to Milo's birthday more than he probably is at this point, just for the cake. So anyway, that's a tangent, but let's dive into today's episode. Last week, I talked a lot about fear and love, and we talked about letting love lead the way instead of fear, which is not always the easiest of tasks, is it? I admit it's not always easy for me either. It's quite difficult some days. Our survival brain has a job of looking for danger. Its job is to literally seek what could go wrong. So it's natural that we have a lot of negative thinking, and it's natural that we worry and have a lot of concern about the worst case scenario, especially as parents, right? So one of my new clients, I've only been coaching her for a few weeks. After listening to last week's episode, she asked me to talk a little bit more with her about this issue. And I thought that our brief conversation would be a good second part follow-up to last week's podcast. So her question to me was this: how do you train yourself to lead with love and not fear? And today I'm going to get to that answer. You know, I like making things really clear and giving you steps to follow. So I'm going to give you 4 steps to start training yourself to lead with love instead of fear. But first of all, I want to look at a few different circumstances where fear can start to creep in without us even realizing it, and the results that happen when we let fear take the lead. I think the number one question that most of us moms have is, will our kids be okay? For my clients right now, that question pops up with everything from sending their kids to the right preschool to how their relationship with their partner is going to affect the long-term emotional health of their children, to things that, like what I'm going through right now of sending my adult kids off into the world by themselves. And it could be everything in between, right? Our brain just wants to fear everything. We want to make sure that our children are safe and cared for. And quite honestly, if we could, we would do everything it took, everything in our power to keep our kids from experiencing pain. And that desire creates a constant need in us to look out for danger, which keeps us in fear. It keeps us operating on a daily basis from fear. Another area that fear can creep in is a little bit more subtle. It's a fear of not living up to the standards we want for ourselves, or the fear of doing things wrong, the fear of judgment from others. Our survival brain is constantly seeking three things. Number one, to conserve energy. The second thing is it seeks pleasure. And the third thing is to avoid danger. Yes, this is the reason I'm craving that banana cake right now. My survival brain is seeking pleasure and to conserve energy in all the ways. But each of these three things does keep us alive. They keep us procreating and eating and avoiding danger. Without the survival brain focusing on these three things, we would literally die. So it's important to pay attention to the fact that we do need our survival brain. Its intentions are important, and we get to listen to it sometimes. We get to honor it. The problem comes in when it doesn't know when to stop, when it thinks everything is an opportunity to conserve energy, to seek pleasure, and to avoid danger. If that's all you're doing in life, if all you're doing is seeking to appease that survival brain, you are actually avoiding your present life. You're just worrying about the next step all the time. You're avoiding the beauty of being human and reaching for big things and bigger goals. Or you're trying to protect your loved ones from reaching for big things because you don't know what's on the other side. So one of the first things that we have to do to let love lead instead of fear is to start paying attention to your actual body. Yes, your sack of meat and flesh and bones. Your physical body tells you when your brain is on overdrive. Let me give you an example that one of my clients recently had where her body was tensing up around her husband. She noticed herself getting really angry and wanting to avoid him when he was in the same room as her. When he just walked in the room, she was like, oh. So she started tensing up. She was easily irritated by his presence, by his existence. Her husband is a sweet and kind man. He doesn't show violence. He doesn't give her any reason to fear him. So I want to be clear that she had no reason to go into fight or flight mode around him. Her brain was simply on overdrive. So during our coaching session, we really dug deep to discover the reasons why her body was feeling like it needed to flee from a good man, a man that she loved, a man that she wanted to be with. And what she discovered was that her brain was seeking ease. But she was making her life hard in so many ways. So everything became a part of that difficulty. Everything became a part of the things that she was making hard. Even something as simple as her partner entering the room. She has a lot on her plate, and she feels the need to do a lot every day and to keep going, right? She doesn't feel like she has the ability to slow down. So when her husband entered the room, she noticed the thought, he needs me, and I don't have enough time for him. And then her brain upped the drama. She started telling herself, he's too needy, and I don't have energy for him. So with these two thoughts, he's too needy, and I don't have energy for him, she wanted to escape. Her animal brain interpreted his presence as danger. Her heart started racing when he entered the room because she felt like she would have to stop what she was doing to pay attention to him. She felt tension in her stomach and in her chest. She felt her shoulders tensing up. She even noticed her breathing got heavier. Literally, her body was reacting like there was a tiger right around the corner. All because of the thought, he needs me and I don't have energy or time for him. So you see, fear can come from so many different places. It can come from fearing for your child's comfort or safety. It can come from a really busy schedule and feeling like too many people need you. It can come from any circumstance that your brain interprets as hard or dangerous. even if it's just dangerous to your ego. So your first step in learning how to let love lead instead of fear is to pay attention to your body's reactions. When you notice that tension or that the urgency to fix something, bring awareness to what you're feeling. What feelings are surrounding the fear even? Are you feeling guilt for not living up to someone else's standards? Are you feeling scared of what might happen around the corner? Are you feeling fear that you're not good enough as a parent, a spouse, a lover, a friend, a sister, a daughter? What are you feeling around it? That's number one. Name the feeling. Bring awareness to it. Notice your body's reactions. And the second thing to do here is to ground your body. There are so many ways to ground your body through movement, a walk, and many other things. But one of the quickest ways is to just put your hand on your heart or your stomach or even your forehead. Wherever you're feeling tension, put your hand there and simply say, I am safe. I am okay. And then breathe into that. I am safe. I am okay. Repeat it until you feel your body releasing. Bring reality to your brain again. Help it to drop the catastrophic stories. Remind yourself that you're allowed to be present with what is, that you have time to be present with what is. Just because your brain wants to worry doesn't mean anyone is in immediate danger. You can let go. You can take the time to breathe and just be present. And then the third step, number 3, is after you've grounded your body, ask yourself the question, why am I feeling the need to escape right now? What am I afraid of? All your fears will come up, no matter what they are. All the thoughts will come up. They need to. You need to give them space so that you can hear them, so that you can pay attention to them, so that you can understand them. So from decisions that you have to make, to how you communicate, to your flaws and judgments of yourself, they'll all pop into your head when you ask yourself, why am I afraid? And then slow your thoughts down. Bring the thought that is creating the urge to fight or flee to the surface. Let me go back to my example. For my client who felt that tension in her body every time her husband entered the room, she realized that she was thinking, he needs me, and I should be there for him. She had a sense of guilt and frustration in her body, and she wanted to run from that, so she felt tense. And she was in constant fear of doing the wrong thing, of not living up to her own standards or his. She was also in fear of losing him over time, of losing their connection. This created tension in her body, and so she often avoided her husband. She wouldn't even look up from what she was doing. She didn't acknowledge him when he entered the room. She rushed past him to send the signal, I'm too busy to slow down. And the result she was creating for herself was massive disconnection. All because her animal brain was afraid of being too needed, of not being able to live up to being that needed. It was afraid there wasn't enough time for everything and everyone. So the thoughts she needed to really pay attention to were, he needs me and there's not enough time. They seem so innocent, don't they? But notice that both of these thoughts pulls her out of control of her own emotions in life. The thoughts themselves are disempowering. They're making her feel trapped and almost claustrophobic. So of course her brain will interpret that as fear and tell her to escape the room from this beautiful man that you love, right? Here's the thing with both of those thoughts though. They're not true. And even if she thinks they are true to a certain extent, it's not serving her to think about them because it's not giving her the results that she wants. She wants deep connection with her husband. But he needs me too much and I don't have time for him causes her to react in a way that creates disconnection. So to get rid of that fear and to let love lead, we had to come up with a new thought for her to practice. So instead of thinking every time he entered the room that I don't have time for him, he needs me too much, instead of thinking those, she found the thought, he loves me. He walks in the room, she thinks, there he is, he loves me. Doesn't he loves me feel so much better than he needs me? Try it on yourself this week if this is a common struggle of yours too. You can try it with your kids too. This is a simple reframe, but it changed everything because now when he enters the room, she slows her heart rate because she's paying attention to her body. And she purposefully reminds herself when he enters the room, he loves me. And what did she do then with that thought? She felt loved. She looked up. He entered the room, she looked up. She acknowledges him now. She says good morning. She communicates with him. She gets honest. She might say, hey, I have lots of things to do this morning before I leave for work. But we can talk while I make coffee. How are you this morning? Right? She has a simple, short conversation that doesn't take up any time. It takes up a whole lot less energy than thinking he needs me. I don't have the energy or time for him. And look at this. She did not make major changes. She didn't suddenly sit down and spend 15 minutes chatting with her husband in the morning. She didn't stop doing what she felt she wanted to do. She simply looked up and acknowledged and communicated what was going on in her in a very loving way. She let love lead instead of fear. Okay, what about those times when we're sending our kids off into the world? We're sending them off to a new school or a new preschool, or if you're like me and you have older kids and you're sending them off into the world. Your animal brain is gonna go crazy about all the things that could go wrong. And the best thing that you can do for yourself and your children and anyone else in life that you are worried about is to stop trying to be their savior. I had to get coached on this a lot of times. I am not the savior of all the people. I care, I love deeply, I empathize, but I don't have to be their savior. So I know I am right there with you, mamas. I get this struggle. But your job and my job is not to save the world. Your job is not even to save your kids. Your job is not to save your partner. Your job is not to protect others from adversity in life. Your job is simply to love. And when you let love lead, the correct actions will follow. One of the attributes of love is trust. So when you find yourself in moments of intense worry and fear of what could happen next, the next step is to welcome in trust. Trust that no matter what's around the corner, that you can handle the feelings that come with it. And so can your loved ones. Again, adversity will come in everyone's life, almost like it's supposed to be there, right? Everyone experiences it. No one is immune to it. So number 4 is this. In order to let love lead and not fear, you have to practice trusting that you can handle any emotion that comes your way, and that your children and your friends and your partner can handle any emotion that comes their way too. We're not going to brush our feelings under the rug. We don't have to avoid them. We don't have to run from them. We can embrace them and we can handle them. We can process them and learn from them. Even if you watch someone have to go through the same adversity over and over and over, and it takes them 19 times until they realize, oh, I can handle this, right? This is an opportunity for you to step into trust even more and trust their life's journey. It is a journey for all of us. There is no rush to figure it out today. We can embrace our life's journey and we can embrace our kids' life's journey We can embrace our partner's journey, and we can trust them to figure it out in their own time. And trust yourself to let love and trust lead your actions when you do want to help them. Because help and care and tenderness and those are all part of love. I don't want to, we're not like abandoning those actions of love here. We're just taking whatever actions we need to take from a place of trust and love instead of from a place of fear. So for my daughter, over the past few weeks, I ended up helping her a lot because almost everything that could go wrong went wrong. It was ridiculous. But eventually I said, okay, I've helped enough for now. I have to step back. I have to trust my intuition and step back and trust her to figure out how to handle these things as well. I have to trust her that if she needs my help, she will ask for it. I have to trust her that she will advocate for herself. It is a practice. Letting love and trust lead the way instead of fear and worry is a practice. And it's a practice worth doing every single day. So let's go over the steps again. Number 1, bring awareness to your body. Pay attention. I'm feeling tense. My body is telling me something. Pay attention. Number 2, reconnect with your body. Breathe. Put a hand on your chest or on your stomach and say, hey girl, you're safe. You're okay. Number 3, ask why. Let your wisdom speak up. Why are you feeling like you need to escape or save in this moment? What thoughts are coming up? What thoughts do you need to question the validity of? What thoughts are, where is your animal brain taking you on a ride and on overdrive, right? Let your wisdom speak up and tell you, hey, this thought is actually not true. You don't have to think this. What else can you think instead? Number 4, you're going to practice trusting. Trusting yourself to handle the emotions that come up with adversity. And practice trusting that your loved ones can handle the emotions that come with adversity, even if it takes time. One way to practice love and trust is through speaking it, whether in your mind or out loud. You can actually speak it, like, and even, send this kind of love and trust to the person who is not with you, right? If you're worried about someone who is not with you, you can say, hey, I'm sending you love right now. I trust that this difficult situation will help you learn and grow. I'm here for you. I trust myself to know when to help you and when to step back. I trust your inner wisdom to guide you. I trust myself and you with the full human experience, including adversity, right? Send those kind of things to them, whether it's just in your mind, in your own thoughts, or out loud to them. Trust is a gift that you can give to someone else. And it's a gift that you can offer yourself too. So remember, if you trust yourself to handle any emotion, even the worst ones like shame and failure, and that one that nobody wants to think about or talk about, grief. When you trust yourself to feel and process these emotions, nothing will stop you. You will trust yourself with decisions and with adversity, and you'll become a pro at letting love lead more and more. You'll connect with others so much easier because you're not letting fear of the unknown lead you. You're letting love lead. You'll communicate trust to them. Your family doesn't need you to save them. They need you to love them and trust them. And seriously, y'all, love and trust feels so much better in your body than fear and worry do. So do it for yourself too. It's not your job to fix. It's not your job to save. We are simply here to love and to see the beauty right before us. And when we let love lead, our actions and words and wisdom flow easier. They might even be similar actions, but you'll notice the difference in your body. Your body tells you. Pay attention to it first. You won't feel as tense with love. You'll feel free. When you let love lead instead of fear or guilt or worry, your actions will no longer feel exhausting. They won't make you want to escape the person in front of you. So this is our practice. To see the beautiful human in front of you, whether it's your partner or your child, trust yourself and them and let love lead. You guys, I keep repeating this in many different places. We are here to love. We are here for growth and healing. And we are here for fun. These three things are my challenge right now, and I invite you to make them yours. Love, growth, and fun. Now, when you notice fear, I also don't want you to beat yourself up. Okay, you don't have to be afraid of fear either. You don't have to notice it and then think something's gone wrong and think, oh, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do thought work, right? Don't use thought work against yourself. You simply have to pay attention. Why are you afraid? What are you thinking? This is your opportunity. Start thinking of fear as your opportunity to reframe those sentences in your animal brain that are creating the fear and ultimately paralyzing you or keeping you stuck. Fear is your opportunity to step into courage. Here's something mind-blowing that I was thinking about this week. You cannot have courage without feeling fear first. In order to step into courage, you must first feel fear. So feel the fear, pay attention, and change it. Change it to courage. That is led by total and complete love. All right, that's what I have for you guys today. If you want more of this, I want to invite you to join me next week, Monday through Friday, for a 5-day connected communication challenge. That's December 5th through the 9th, 2022. And you can sign up at rachelcunninghamcoaching.com/CCC. Those 3 C's stand for Connected Communication Challenge. During that week, I invite you to be all in to learn the 7 skills to improve your communication. One of them you learned about today, letting love lead. Come and learn the other 6 next week. Again, you can sign up at rachelcunninghamcoaching.com/CCC. We'll spend the first half of the hour learning and the second half answering your questions and some hot seat coaching. So go sign up. It's free. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. I'll see y'all next week. Thanks for listening to Joyful Love. If you'd like to know more about my work, come visit me at rachelcunningham.com. That's Rachel, spelled with an A-E-L, Cunningham.com.